Hey, it's your old pal John C. Reilly, and I'm here at Amoeba, and this is What's in My Bag.
You give your hand to me, and then you say goodbye. I watch you walk away beside the lucky guy to never, never know the one who loves you so. No, you don't know me.
I'd like to start with this record by Harry Nilsson. It's called A Little Touch of Schmilsson in the Night.
It had to be you. It had to be you.
He had this big hit with the song Coconut. You know, you put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning.
Put a lime in the coconut and drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut, then you feel better.
Massive hit. His producer's like, Harry, you got another album and you're just like that. We could make $1 bajillion this time. And he said, no, I want to do an album of covers of old standards that I remember from movies and from my childhood. And that producer said, yeah, but I don't want to do that. And he said, all right, see you later.
I shan't be needing your services for a while.
Such a baller move. Like, in the face of success, he's like, you know what? I'm going to do what's important to me.
Lazy moon, come out soon.
This was recorded live with an orchestra, and it's kind of a seamless record, like one flows into the other with snatches of other famous songs sprinkled inside. And as a result of him doing this record, a lot of these songs I sing now with my band and with my show, Mr. Romantic. There's a song by Irving Berlin called What'll I Do that is on my new record and is one of the first songs I thought of for the Mr. Romantic project. I was like, oh, Mr. Romantic would sing this song for sure.
What'll I do when I am wondering who is kissing you? What'll I do?
Do yourself a favor and check this one out because it's pretty magical. Thanks, Harry. Mwah.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh.
Part of the thing I'm doing here with this album is like what he did with that album and what Sinatra does, like Frankie Boy.
The stars will remember the night we said goodbye.
This is my favorite kind of Sinatra, when he's young and sweet, before he became like the chairman of the board and like such a tough guy and a saloon singer.
Oh.
He was this sweet like heartthrob. All the teenage girls loved him. You know, he sang romantic love songs and serenaded people. And that's my favorite Frank.
I fall in love too easily.
The reason I wanted to point out Frank too was that if you look, it's the song choice. Like this era, what those guys were good at was finding good songs. I mean, these days everyone's kind of obsessed with singer-songwriters. You know, if you're an artist, you're supposed to have written your song. If you didn't, you kind of downplay that. These guys were great at just finding good songs, you know, and then they interpreted them and shared them and passed them along. Like, there's so many standards on here. He does What'll I Do? He does Are You Lonesome Tonight? All Alone.
All alone, feeling blue, wondering where you are.
Irving Berlin songs, and like, that's how music stays alive. You know, I'm not saying I'm as good as Frank Sinatra by any means, but I'm doing the same thing as Frank was doing by taking songs that are beloved to me, interpreting them, putting them on a record and sharing them. And then someone who's not into Frank Sinatra,
Never heard of him. Get rid of this guy. Throw him out of here.
Just a second.
someone who's, you know, only knows me from Step Brothers or something, all of a sudden I sneak this music into their life, and I hope you enjoy it.
The melody lingers on.
Well, this is another artist, Nat King Cole. I cover the song Mona Lisa on my record. He's another guy who's really great at finding songs.
Mona Lisa, men have named you.
There's this great story about Nature Boy, which has become a kind of a famous song in modern times from the movie Moulin Rouge. There was a boy, a very strange enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far over land and sea.
And while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. So that's this beautiful song with this haunting melody. It got passed along to him by someone, and he's like, oh, that's a good one, I'll record that. Where he got it from was this like old hippie that all the younger hippies worshipped. And he dressed like in rough robes and lived underneath the Hollywood sign. And he wrote Nature Boy, as we know it. He wrote those words.
A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he.
Well, when Nat King Cole took his song and recorded it, it became a really big hit.
His name is Eden Arby, and he's bringing his bicycle onto our Gulf Oil stage right now.
And then all of a sudden, Nat King Cole's people were approached by this Jewish klezmer musician from New York that said, that's my melody. You stole my music. And he's like, whoa, I didn't steal your music. I got it from this guy, this old hippie. And they were like, well, then he stole it from us. Launched this lawsuit. And it turns out that guy living up in the hills grew up as a Jewish kid in New York and would go hear klezmer music. And that melody imprinted itself inside of him, and he didn't even realize that he was regurgitating it. You know, he made up those words. So I just think that's a beautiful thing about the power of those eternal melodies that last forever. You know, like, why are we still singing Amazing Grace? There's been millions of songs written since that, but for some reason, the alchemy of that song is magic to human beings, just like Nature Boy.
The greatest thing you could ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
Now I want to turn to one of my biggest inspirations of my whole life, someone that had a major effect on me. I discovered him when I was 18 years old. It's Tom Waits. I call him Old St. Tom because he's that important to me. He lived in Los Angeles for a long time. He's famous for this gravelly voice, but what he's really famous to me for is his songwriting, his ability to embody characters and elicit emotion. And he's not really known in the wider world for that because he's such a kind of bohemian character.
Perhaps this yarn is the only thing that holds this man together. Some say that he was never here at all.
This was like a departure point for him musically. You know, if you listen to his stuff before this, it was much more kind of traditional, still amazing, of course. Just had a little bit more of the 70s in it. And then he started experimenting with these sounds, and it was off to the races after this.
He was always cheating and he always told lies. He was always cheating and he always told lies. Down, down, down. It's falling solid down. With down.
It was a new era for him, you know? This might have been one of the first records that he produced, and a lot of the songs he wrote with his wife, Kathleen. It seemed like something shifted in his life when he met Kathleen and when he started to make this kind of music. There's a couple incredible instrumental tracks on this one, too. To me, there's a direct line between Irving Berlin and Tom Waits. The craft of his songwriting is on a level with all the great American standards in the jazz world. We cover one song from this album called Johnsburg, Illinois. I'm from Illinois, and I think Tom's wife, Kathleen, is from Illinois. Johnsburg, Illinois is one of the most romantic songs I've ever heard.
She grew up outside the Cannery in Johnsburg, Illinois.
Also Tom Waits' Nighthawks at the Diner. This is like a pretend live record he made. I mean, I call it a pretend live record because he pretended like he was in a club, but it's just in some studio space. But it was an invited audience, so they gave him drinks and stuff, and you can hear the audience.
Well, I ordered my veal cutlet. Christ, it left the plate and it come down, try to beat the shit out of my cup of coffee, but the coffee just wasn't strong enough to defend itself.
At one point, I was like, I want to do this like as a theater play, like do it verbatim, you know, like he does all this banter and tells all these stories and stuff.
Colder than a gut shot bitch wolf dog with 9 sucking pups pulling a number 4 trap up a hill in the dead of winter in the middle of a snowstorm with a mouthful of porcupine quills.
Now this record was like, kind of like, what do you say about records that you love? You know, just get it. Trust me, you'll love it.
Do we bury every dream in the cold, cold ground? In the cold, cold ground.
This album tells the story of this guy, Frank. It's Brechtian. It's like an opera. It was a play at one point that they did at the Steppenwolf Theater in Chicago. And when I was starting to work professionally as an actor in the late 80s, this was like so exciting. It also has some beautiful love songs in it. Innocent When You Dream. But Tom Waits really is a special guy. Thanks, Tom.
It's memories that I'm stealing, but you're innocent when you dream.
I picked a lot of things today that are kind of classic influences for me for my record, Mr. Romantic, What's Not to Love. But the truth is, like most people, like Bob Dylan, I Contain Multitudes, which is an amazing song if you haven't heard it.
I'm a man of contradictions. I'm a man of many moods. I contain multitudes.
So you're just getting a little slice of the stuff that I did on a shopping spree here, but I'm going to run through some other stuff now that's not related to my record, but stuff that's super formative. Muddy Waters, of course, I'm from the south side of Chicago, the stomping grounds of Muddy Waters.
Yes, I've been a fool. I've been crazy all of my life.
I went to the Checkerboard Lounge when I was young, and like so many people came up from the south to the south side of Chicago to start modern blues. Little Walter, Muddy Waters, Willie Dixon. If you don't know Muddy Waters, now you know.
On that hoochie coochie man, but you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here.
Chuck Berry, one of the greats. Also, you know, a Chess Records artist.
If you get too close, you're gone like a cool
A complicated man, to be sure.
Leave the amp as I set it. That's my amp, and I'm setting it the way I wish it.
He's the only guy that's hit me that I never got back.
But I'll be damned if you can top Chuck Berry for rock and roll. And I may be damned, but thank you, Chuck.
Carol, don't let him steal it away. Gonna darn the dance if it takes me night and day.
This takes me to the Rolling Stones. Like when I was a kid, there were like, I think 2 years of my life where I only listened to the Rolling Stones over and over and over. People started calling me Mick, you know, in the neighborhood. They really are one of the greatest bands, if not the greatest band.
Hey, think the time is right for a ballast revolution.
You can say the Beatles, right? But the Beatles, to me, are more like, it's a broader band. They're not just rock and roll. These guys were causing riots. You know, girls were losing their shit at their concerts because they were playing Muddy Waters songs. It's just incredible. Like, it's hard to believe now that you could become a sensation overnight by just doing blues covers.
Well, I just can't be satisfied. Just can't keep on crying.
I was obsessed with this record. I would stare at it like, where are they? You know, what if I was standing here? You know, this one is just a great cover. This was another classic, the Stray Cats, Rent and Rave. To me, it's a perfect record from beginning to end. And these guys, what they can do with 3 instruments, including this guy just plays 1 drum. This guy jumps all over this bass. And you could have written them off as a novelty act when it came out, but damn, this stuff holds up. This is an incredible band.
They might say, but baby, I don't care. We're gonna rock, 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 rock.
This is another one of my favorite bands, and the favorite band of a lot of my favorite bands. Simon and Garfunkel owe so much to these guys. And they do something that I think is one of the only truly magic things that human beings can do. Real magic, which is to create harmony. They sing in close harmony. Their voices are so matched.
I'll be yours through endless time. I'll adore your charm sublime.
One part, another part, and without those 2 parts cooperating, there isn't this third thing. So this third thing exists only when these 2 people do this. You can't create harmony by yourself, you know. I guess you could track it or whatever. I couldn't find my favorite record of theirs, which is Songs Our Daddy Taught Us. And I think that's another example, like Harry Nilsson doing a record of covers. I think pretty early on in their career, I think they had a big hit. And then they were like, we're going to do a Songs Our Daddy Taught Us, which is like Silverhead Daddy of Mine, Long Time Gone.
'Cause when I leave, I'll be a long time gone.
I just thought that was so cool. And again, they passed on music. And when artists that you like do that, pay attention, because you're going to get some gifts in your life.
Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream.
This is a great record of my buddy Jack White. Lucky enough to become friends with him. I want to point out these outfits that they're wearing. I love that they did the Pearly Kings look on the front there. This also has some of my favorite White Stripes songs on it. Rag and Bone.
Bring out your jacket, we'll give it a home. A broken trumpet on a telephone. Come on, come on, come on, come on and give it to me. Yeah.
Jack, to me, is the last rock star. That's why I asked him to be Elvis Presley in Walk Hard, because I was like, well, who is even close to Elvis Presley right now? Jack White.
There's 2 things you need to know. I'm the king. And number 2 is, look out, man. Look at that. They're coming at you. You see that?
And I just saw him recently here in Los Angeles, both nights at the Palladium. He's tearing it up. He's as good as he's ever been. Good on you, Jackie boy.
Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else.
The folk section over there, I was looking where John Prine is, like, I was looking through it, I was like, well, every single one of these, every bin here is someone that's important to me. But I've been thinking about John Prine lately. I met his son recently at a benefit concert that I was doing, and it just reminded me, like, what a special guy he was.
Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery.
He wrote this song, Hello in There. He was a postman in Chicago, and he would walk around, and he realized, like, when he would deliver the mail, a lot of times, like, these old people that were living alone, he was the only person they talked to all day long. Very moving. And one of the first casualties of COVID. God love you, John Prine.
You know that old trees just grow stronger, and old rivers grow wilder every day.
This is one of my favorite reggae artists. I told you I contained multitudes. I didn't even get into hip-hop, but Toots and the Maytals, man. Pressure Drop, 5446 was my number. Funky Kingston. It's incredible. There's another song that they do called Sweet and Dandy. It's the Harder They Come movie. That's where I first discovered Toots was on that soundtrack record. Anyway, he passed away recently too, so the greats are leaving us, so it's important to remember them. Thanks, Toots.
No wonder he's a perfect wonder while they were dancing in that ballroom last night.
This record I meant to get some Randy Newman records, and I will on the way out of here, trust me. Instead, I got this Nilsson Sings Newman record. I guess these guys were friends. This is Harry Nilsson singing Randy Newman songs.
You and me, you and me, you and me, baby, you and me, you and me, you and me.
Randy Newman is another incredible songwriter, an American treasure. Most people now know him for writing songs for movies like Toy Story and stuff, but his early work is part of the American canon.
Baby, it's so hard living without you.
He just sounds like America to me, what he says about America and the things he notices, our best and our worst, you know, and he points all that out.
This is, for all you good fascists out there, it's about bombing the hell out of everybody. But all around, even our old friends put us down. Let's drop the big one and see what happens.
There's just so many great songs. So I'm looking forward to listening to this one again. I lost a lot of my vinyl recently. I lost all of my vinyl recently. So this has been a real edifying moment for me here.
I hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Human kindness is overflowing. I think it's going to rain today.
That's all my records. I hope when you go to the record store, you'll check out some of these. And maybe mine, if you like. Just a suggestion.
So dream, dream, dream.
Amoeba